Sadly, in the United States, 9 out of 10 people who need access to justice, an attorney in a civil matter that might affect their housing, their benefits, their income, their children, their livelihood, their health, their well-being, are not able to get an attorney because they can't afford one.
Senior citizens, children with legal needs, persons with severe illnesses who are unable to work and pay their bills, people who are being duped into consumer contracts, or who don't have the resources to go find a lawyer to look at a contract before they sign it.
Our justice system is set up on the premise that you need a lawyer, you need a fancy education to be able to, get the basics. And for people who are poor and don't have money and don't have access to that system, it can be daunting.
The power of Pro Bono Net is transformative.
The original idea behind Pro Bono Net was to use the new emerging web technology to bridge the private attorneys who were looking to do volunteer work in the public interest law sector with the groups that were trying to access those lawyers.
And we expanded really rapidly in that 2001 from kind of 4 pilot partner programs to, over the next 2 years, 28 states.
The original goal of Pro Bono Net was really to try and tap into the power of technology to overcome barriers to providing legal services to poor people.
We have a point of view on access to justice as an organization. We strongly believe that access to justice means just that, opening up the doors to the courts and the justice system for the low-income, moderate-income people.
On our Law Help project, we work with legal aid and other nonprofit public interest legal organizations around the country. Law Help is a national online resource that allows low and moderate income individuals to find free Know Your Rights information, and also provides them information on how to find free or low-cost legal services programs in their local area.
In New York State alone, there are about 2 million people who come into the courts without attorneys, facing what I call bread and butter issues. With Pro Bono Net just providing the resources for my court to offer its do-it-yourself programs, it's in fact helping to remove barriers to justice.
Access to justice, as enabled by Pro Bono Net, has to do a lot with information and readily accessible information.
The value of Pro Bono Net comes from, hundreds and thousands of small little acts that we help facilitate. That could be connecting somebody to a lawyer, a volunteer lawyer, which is a great thing, or just actually connecting somebody to a piece of information that can help them help themselves.
In a very tangible way, Pro Bono Net has been the group that's brought other people in the room.
Legal aid groups, pro bono groups, court systems, bar associations have all come together to help build an information system that helps people address their legal needs.
A key part of Pro Bono Net's mission is the collaboration. We collaborate both with our partners, they collaborate with each other within their state to build these really innovative, complex, dynamic statewide websites.
I think one of the real successes of Pro Bono Net has been our ability to engage a whole community in trying to think through together how to leverage the strengths of our organizations, the practices that work, and share them with each other, and use what we learn from that work to transform the systems that are delivering justice.
The Bronx Defenders is a holistic public defender that works primarily in the South Bronx, but serves people who are too poor to afford an attorney. So we began working with Pro Bono Net for an idea of taking the knowledge that we had gained in direct services, working with our clients and working on practical solutions to these problems, and exporting it to the rest of the advocacy community to make sure that we kind of shared best practices and created a community of knowledge around these issues.
Without the collaboration with Pro Bono Net, Montana Legal Services wouldn't be able to do half of what we can do to help people. We've had success with our websites getting information to domestic violence victims that live in remote rural locations where their abuser is watching every move they make, they can go down to the public library and get on the computer and say they're getting books for their kids, but actually get information about how to be safe.
Post-Katrina, for example, Pro Bono Net went right in and began to connect pro bono attorneys to clients that were in need of assistance in trying to access government benefits and trying to rebuild their communities.
We got calls from our partners in Mississippi and New Orleans. They wanted to make sure their websites were still up and running. They wanted to be able to collect donations online. We became kind of their webmasters for a while, but also really connecting them with each other.
The use of technology really has a multiplier effect in that technology resources can serve as a bridge builder and as an amplifier.
Access to justice is one of the most important features of a democracy that I can think of.
Justice is when someone can get on a website and find out that the eviction they were just served with by their landlord is unlawful, and they get to stay in their house.
The power of Pro Bono Net is in the network. It's the hundreds of organizations, thousands of lawyers and other legal workers who are engaged in trying to figure out how to provide better services to low-income and vulnerable communities, how to provide them with greater access to justice and greater outcomes to the struggles that they're facing in their daily lives. And the importance of the technology is that it becomes a tool to connect and empower that group of people.
Within the legal profession, there's nothing more noble than making access to justice available for the poor and the disadvantaged.
Pro Bono Net provides us an incredible resource to managing our pro bono work.
I think we have the largest law firm for poor people in Georgia, courtesy Pro Bono Net.
The power of Pro Bono Net is that it's really trying to increase access to justice one app at a time.